Hello and welcome to the stream. My name is Nick Larson. Today is April 25th, 2019. What a good day. All right, I'm going to get a few things set up here. I am running a little late because I was eating lunch and then I was helping my daughter get set up because she wanted to watch Bubble Guppies. So I put on Bubble Guppies. That's her thing. That's cool. Let's get this over here. Bloop, bloop. Let's go shrink this. Okay. We're going to get back to the same thing that we were previously working on, and we're going to keep working on it. What is that? Well, that's super simple. It is... I'm going to move that a little bit. We are making a game. Hooray! We're making a game based on... Oh, man, you know what? I didn't set it right. We're making a game based on the JS13K prompt, which is we have to do something that's online, and we're kind of far along, I feel like. Let's take a look at it real fast, and then let's talk about what we want to get done today, which is basically what we wanted to get done yesterday, only got sidetracked and started working on something else. Alright, this is up and running, so now we can say localhost, go to the debug, go to the play. Okay, it's this game. Alright, you have this like conversation thing. Hey, are you awake? I've been trying to call you for an hour. What hey, what's going on? It's dark in here and my head is killing me. Just so you're aware, it's dark in this room, even though it looks like it's green. It's actually nighttime, and that's something that maybe we'll get to before too long. And what we're doing now is basically saying we want to walk around, pick up the things, and then we want to be able to get out of here. All right, but the thing that we're actually working on is these grid lines that show you where you can move. Right now, it looks like you can bang into a wall. Like, you can go up, but you can't actually go up. And that's not... We don't want to show it like you can go up. We want the grid lines to show you only where you can go. We were working on this in what I thought was going to be like a super awesome way to go about it yesterday, but it turns out it's just really hard. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to expand this out, and we're going to make it so that there's just 16 of these things. 15, 16, 16, 16. And each one of them is going to put in the right ones. Basically the correct lines for each one. And then the idea is we should just be able to update the CSS and it'll automatically update the grid lines for us. Why are these grid lines so important, and why am I like so hardcore about must have these things in here? That's because the grid lines show you where you can move, and I want it to sort of be obvious, like as a how to play the game. Basically like a training feature, so that you know what to do based on where you are. And that's the plan. Like, you know you can't go up, or you know you can't go left, and if there's a wall in here, you know you can't bang into the wall, because the grid lines will show you only where you can go. And that's the plan. So we're going to do the easy ones first. And we're going to basically, on each one of these cells where you should not be able to go, there is this thing called wall left. And currently, walls are the only places that you can't go, so we want to make it so you can't walk into walls. Hey, what's up, Rambling Geek? Glad you can make it, man. Hope your day is going well. It's getting pretty close to the evening time there, isn't it? I am just talking about what we're going to do right now. We're just going to expand this out. So yesterday what I tried was to just change the background position, but when you have 4 backgrounds, apparently Inherit is not a good way to go about this, because if you have multiple backgrounds, they all have to be defined on the same selector, to the best of my knowledge. So like when you have multiple backgrounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can't later on like modify multiple backgrounds. You have to set the position of the same number of positions as there are backgrounds. And that's kind of what's going on. So this didn't work. Let's get rid of these. And then let's basically copy these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, and see if we can improve them. I'm hoping that what happens is we can use, what is it called? Specificity. CSS specificity. CSS specificity. I'm not spelling that right. Yeah, specificity. There we go. And the idea is that the more well-defined your selector is, it'll override other things. So if we add more and more class selectors, then it should override them. So the more walls we have, it should override. That's the plan. And that's what we're going to go for. So basically there are 16 of them. There's none, which is going to be our default. And then there's these right here. 2, 3, 4. Now we are adding a lot of text here, but keep in mind that this is all going to get zipped up, and repeated text likes to zip up very, very well. So I'm not going to worry about the size until it becomes an issue. I'm just going to make the assumption that this is going to zip up and everything's going to be just fine. Alright, so if I remember correctly, this is the bottom, this is the right, this is the top, and this is the left. So if we want the wall left to be none, then basically what we want to do is get rid of this one. Like that. And then we don't need this one. And if we want to get rid of the right, this is bottom right, so we get rid of this one. And then we get rid of the second one. And then if we want to get rid of the top, bottom, right, top, we get rid of the third one here. And bottom, that's the first one. Oops, I need to do something. Boom, there we go. Actually, yeah. Keep. This is just a template for me to copy and paste. Okay, and then for this one we need to get rid of the bottom, which is the first one. Alright, this by itself should make this work, with the exception of these corners, which have 2. Oi. No, we need the case of none. And the case of none needs to be that it has all of them. That's right. So let's do that. Cell. There we go. Should bring back the ones in the middle. Okay, there we go. So now we still have these little edges that are mixed up. And what we're going to do is basically just expand these out. Right? So you can have dot cell, and then you can have 2 of them. Wall top, wall left. That would be this first one up here in the top left. And then what I want to do is take this, and I want to get rid of this is the bottom and the right, so I want to get rid of the top and the left. That is these 2 at the bottom. And let's see if that worked. And it did! Hooray. Okay, so now we're just going to have to expand these out. There's 16 of them. This is going to take a minute. But after this, we'll be able to move on. Let's just copy these. Okay, so instead of that, let's go like this. Okay, left, right, bottom, wall top, right, right, bottom. Oh, there's only 3. Okay. Now we want right, and we want right. No, we need wall top by itself, wall width left, wall width right, wall width bottom. Then we need wall right with wall left and wall bottom. Right, correct. Wall left, wall bottom, and then we need wall left with wall bottom. And I think that covers all combinations of 2 because they can work in forwards and backwards. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put in the values. Okay. You know what? Let's change this here. How do you do a comment? Yeah, there we go. This is bottom. This is just going to make it easier for me to find what to delete. Bottom, right, top, left. Bottom, right, top, left. Okay. Copy. And then the idea is we just delete all of the ones that don't show up in this list. No, we delete all of the ones that do show up in the list. So top and right. Okay. And then this one is top and bottom. And this one, I'm sorry, I am going to have to take a break. My son is screaming at the top of his lungs. I'll be right back. What happened? You punched your head? You hit it on the door? Oh, you don't need to scream like that for that, dude. Come on, you're playing. It's always exciting working from home. Okay, let's get rid of the right and the left. Oh, this one's going to be a little trickier. We want to get rid of the right and the left. We want to get rid of the right and the bottom. We want to get rid of the left and the bottom. Bottom. If y'all'd like, I'm going to start talking in a monotone voice now. Talk about happy trees. Little happy CSS right here. Green. Green makes for happy. Alright, now we need to do all the combinations of 3. The combinations of 3 are... you can leave any one out. So all of the combinations of 3 are leave one out. Okay, so let's just put all of them. Let's go dot wall left, bottom, top, dot wall right. And this, we'll do a leave one out. First we'll leave off the left. Then we'll leave off the bottom. Then we'll leave off the top. It's okay to leave off the top sometimes. Sometimes you need to be able to move up. And we'll move off the right as well. It works just the same as we were previously doing, where first you just get rid of the ones that are in there. So in this case, we got rid of the left. So the left is the only one that should remain. Oh, that's nice. Next, we got rid of the... Next, we got rid of the bottom. So the bottom is the only one that should remain. This is fun. If we keep going, we find out that we got rid of the top. And the top should be the only one that remains. Alright. Last one. It looks like we got rid of the right. We don't want the right to feel like it's left all alone. So we're going to give it its own selector as well. There we go. I feel like we should probably test this, because if we don't test this, we're not going to feel confident that it works. And just for the sake of getting them all in there, let's go ahead and put the one in there that has all of them. Hello, JS13K. I was wondering if you could help me out with a very basic JavaScript issue. I just started out, so I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. Sure, man, go ahead and drop it in there. Or woman? Can't really tell from your name. Just drop a question in here and I'll take a look at it when you get it. Wall left, wall bottom, wall top, wall right. And in this case, we need to explicitly say that we don't want any backgrounds. Background image, none. Doesn't really matter what the position is. Var my name equals ZTOKKY. Var my string equals my name is plus my name. The console says cannot read property length of null. Well, that's interesting because you don't call .length anywhere. So that is confusing, but perhaps you could give some more information that might help me debug that. To everybody who's just dropping by, I'm going with the monotone voice today. If you'd like to do a little lurking, hopefully this will help you clear your mind and think about nothing, because all we're talking about is nice little CSS selectors. And then we're going to move on to some actual nice, actually accomplishing stuff. Did that work? It appears to have worked. That's not monotone. The console says cannot read. Sure, is there any additional information you can give? Okay. Let's go ahead and drop in a couple of lines. I am following a free course on Free Code Camp and it wants to put strings together. Here's an example. Set my name to a string. Here's the example. Set my name to a string equal to your name and build my string with my name between the strings. Sure. So, in the way that you're doing this, you have quoted my name in the line that creates my string. And when you quote my name, it is actually a string instead of the variable replacement. So what you want to do instead is just get rid of the quotes around my name. I still don't understand the exception being cannot read property length of null unless the test is somehow checking that. Seems like just really bad output. But yeah, you probably just want to do something where you call the variable instead of quoting the name of the variable. Alright, so we got our little lines here. Now I'm basically just going to put a giant line down the middle to see if it will automatically take care of this stuff for us. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to say if row equals 4. Hey, that's it. I'm so glad, man. Glad to be able to help. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in chat here, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. So we're just going to basically say, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try your name, Ztoki. Is that good enough? Ztoki? Zatoki? Zataki? I really don't know. That's a hard one. But thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Stokey. Stocky? Still lost. I'm trying. Stocky. Okay, I'm feeling like stocky is right. Stocky. Alright, when we create this game, we're going to make the cells. And I'm going to say if the row is 4, if the row is 4, if okay, if row, if column is 0, or column equals 4, and row less than 3, then we're going to put in a left wall. And the idea here is that this will put in basically a wall going straight up and down right here, and we'll be able to test whether or not this actually generated the thing that we're looking for. Please. Oh, didn't work. It worked on this side. Oh, I see. I didn't put a wall in. You gotta do walls on the left and the right. Ooh. Yikes. That's harder. That's so much harder. So there's nothing blocking you from leaving. Alright, so I put a left wall in, and I have to additionally put in a right wall, or you end up in this situation where it's very difficult to get out. Where it also looks like it dinked this up a little bit. Like it shifted it, which is weird. It shifted it maybe because the background clip is wrong. Maybe it's clipping to the padding. Alright, so we're going to have to change the background clip on these as well. We'll get that sorted out in a second. First, I do think that this will work. We're going to say if the column equals 3 and the row is less than this. Or, and then we want to change this to 3. I'm going to refresh that. Okay, so it does work like that. We do need to fix this. When there is left padding, okay. This is going to be a background clip issue. How are we going to fix the background clip? Let's go see what the values are. CSS background clip. That's not where I wanted to be. The background clip property specifies the area within which the background is painted. Okay. Border box. That feels like it. Border box. Padding box. Content box. Initial is border box. Uh-oh. Crap. Oh, wait. You know what? There's another way we could go about this, which is just change the background position on those. Let's do that. In the case where you have a left, wall to the left, you want to shift them to 24. I have a feeling the same kind of issue happens. All right, 24. You know what? We can just do it like this. Inspect. Get this out of here. And then we can say on wall left, we want to change the background position of the right one, bottom right, to 24. Nope. Nope. Of just the last one to minus 23. No, these are horizontal. Okay. So we want that to be 24. And we want that to be 25. 24. Oh, interesting. $23. What is happening? Oh, we need both the top and the bottom. Got it. To be 25 and this one to be 24. Oi, this is going to be annoying. We could change how we do the border. Instead of having the border be that, it could be a pseudo element. Which won't work when we want to do... We could do a border on the pseudo element. Let's do that. We don't want to change any of these. On this place where we set the border width, we don't want to actually set the border width. Instead, we want to set the border width on the pseudo element. Okay. This is going to be crazy. We're going to say dot cell before and then we want height 100%, width 100%, position absolute, top 0, left 0. And then what we want to do is on this, we want to put the border here on the pseudo element. Whoops. If we say dot cell dot wall left, there we go. And then we do like this before. Okay. Now we want to do right. 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 Then we want to do top. And then we want to do bottom. Oops. Gotta get rid of that. Don't want it to show up twice. And bottom. All right. Okay, let's see if that worked. Oh, it did not. Okay, the background showed up correctly, which is what I was hoping for. Now we just need to work on the pseudo elements. Get rid of this. I don't want this. Okay, great. And what we want to do is on this, let's get one of these down here. That's not what I wanted. That only has one. Okay, cell wall bottom. Where is the pseudo elements? They should be in here before. Why? Interesting. So it's there. Maybe we need box sizing. Border box. Z order maybe? Or is it Z index 1? Oh man, I really don't know what's going on here. Border bottom width. Let's go 5. Okay. Height 30 px. Width 30 px. Position relative. Position absolute is the parent. No, I do. I need position. Oh no, position relative. Okay. Z index. What is going on? Why is my pseudo element not showing up? And why is it still saying it's 50-50 even though I changed the width and the height? Oh, it's wall bottom before. Oh, crazy. Okay, that's an interesting one. So is it cell? Okay. Okay. So instead we want this. I can see that. Because I think it's trying... Maybe? No. Oh. Cell wall bottom. How is that so wide? Cell? Okay, this thing has lost its mind. Oh, it's all the cells. These are all the ones that are okay. Okay, but if I want to like inspect a single one, okay, then my pseudo element, which is somehow not being selected, I mean, it is selecting it because that's the correct thing. Let's just do background red. Okay. I'm just confused at this point. Z index 1000. Height 40px. Width 40px. The second day in a row I've ended up debugging a CSS issue, which I think I'm going to give up on. You know what? It doesn't have a border. Sort of like whatever. We can figure that out later. You need it for the walls. You need it for the walls. Am I using cell before and after for anything else? And why? Position absolute? Really don't understand here. Let's just do 10 pixels. This. I have no idea. Okay. You know what? This is like... Let's just undo that. Yep, as I'm not sure. Alright, this is going to make it so that it's all funky. I need to make it so that stops coming up. Alright, so it's a little off, but it's like We'll get it sorted out. We'll figure that out later. This is much better right now because you can actually see the walls. And then, unfortunately, right now you can still move through the walls. So that's one thing that we want to go ahead and implement. You should not be able to move through the walls. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's change these from 3 to like 6. 6. Alright. Somewhere in this thing where we actually render the start of the game, let's not show the dialogue. Intro dialogue. No intro dialogue. Okay. So now we can get this thing started where we move between walls, through walls. Okay. Where's my to-do? To-do. Right there. Move, not clear who the player is on the first screen. Move counter always increments. Visually change the CSS to show allowed paths. We're going to put that as done, but we're going to put a big old star next to it. And then we're going to make it so that you can't move through a wall. Okay, respect walls. Great. Okay, so when you try to move, you need to exit the cell you're currently in, and you need to enter the cell you're trying to enter. So let's make it so that when you try to exit, handle player move, pick up items, check win, handle player move. All right, this right now is what happens. Let's go ahead and make this a little easier to look at. Oops. Okay. You are in the current cell, and we don't want to increment the move counter unless you actually move. We'll come back to that. Okay, so you're in the old cell. You're in the new cell. If the old cell not equals the new cell, then we want to increment this. Okay, great. We just took care of that. That was super simple. Move counter always increments when a key is pressed. Done. Now what we want to do is we want to not directly move the player. We don't want to directly move the player. Instead, what we want to do is calculate the new cell. Let new cell chords equal row player.row, call equal player.call, and then we want to say new cell chords.row there we go. And then what we want to do is we want to get the new cell. So we now have the old cell, we now have the new cell. If they are the same, we can basically just return. If old cell equals new cell, then I think we're just done. Return. All right. attempt interaction. Okay, and now what we want to say is okay. Check if can leave. There's probably a better way to go about doing this. So what if there is no cell there? Then we have a problem. So first off, we don't want to try to move at all if the old cell has a wall preventing you from leaving. All right, if the key is W, that means go north. Then we want to check that the old cell, okay, and old cell dot walls dot contains dot index of top equals -1, meaning that it does not actually have that. Then we try to move. And then we're just going to say, we're just going to actually move it. We're not even going to check that anymore, because there should be a wall. Okay, so this is the pattern we want to take. But maybe what we want to do is throw a little sound in there, saying you can't move. Maybe not. We can worry about that later. Okay, so let's copy this and get this correct for all of them. So A is left. All right. And then S is south. So bottom. The wall will prevent you. And then D is right. Okay, so now we're going to check if there is a wall preventing you from leaving. That's correct. All right, we can't go left, and we also can't go right. That's not good. Can't move at all. Okay, let's figure out what's happening. Console.log old cell dot walls. So we're in here. You try to go left. There is a left in there. Okay. Old cell.walls.index of left. Let's log this. Console.log. Zero. Oh, so we want the index of... What if I go up? What? Alright, we're gonna switch this up here. Actually, let's just do it for all of them. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, so I changed all this, and then I didn't actually change what I needed to change. Old cell equals new cell. And I don't want this to be player, I want this to be this one. New cell coords. If it's this, otherwise increment that. And then we want to set player.row equals new cell coords dot row. Player.call equals new cell coords dot call. Okay, so you can move up. Oh, alright. You can't go up past that. You can't go left. Can go right. Okay. Hooray. Can't go that way. Alright, finally. Finally. Let's see if we can go get a win in. Get that flashlight.
Heroic, you win sound. Yay!
Alright. Okay, that's perfect. Let's refresh here. Okay, so now we have the walls implemented correctly. You cannot move through a wall. Respect walls. Okay. Prevent you from reaching a cell with a locked door. Conversation pauses player control. That's a good one. Let's go ahead and do that. This way you have to actually read through the conversation. You have to actually read through the conversation before you can do anything. How do we do that? First, we go back into here. Well, yeah, the interaction thing we're actually going to do later. Okay, so we got this done. All right, conversation back on. Let's turn the conversation back on. All right, when you render a dialogue, we need to override what happens on key press. So let's just find out where the key press thing is. Key press. Oh, that's not cool. Key down? Ah, key down. Okay, start game. Handle player move. Let's have... It would be easier if we could capture it beforehand. It would be easier if we could capture it beforehand. Instead of like unmapping it, we just want to capture it beforehand, and then we want to update it. We basically want to not pass on the control. So let's go like this. Let's have let input control equal an array. And then we want to say add input control function. This is going to take in a handler. And instead of input, let's call it key press. Key press control. Add key press control. So for those of you following along right now, sort of the idea here is we're going to have like a stack, and whatever is on the top of the stack has control of the input. We will only call that function, and then when whatever it is owns that, it will pop itself off of the stack so that it no longer has control. That's what we're going to do. So add key press control constant add key press control equals function handler, and this is going to be key press control dot add dot push of handler. Super simple. And then we're going to have const remove key press control equals, or rather pop, well, maybe, yeah, remove key press control equals function handler, and this is going to be some sort of like, I think I added a remove, control F, remove, array remove. How did I implement array remove? That seems good. Let's just try array remove. Array remove, key press control, handler. And then we want const handle key press equals function event. And then what we want is this. Add listener. So now what we want is add key press control of handle player move. So this is like the default down here. And then we want on key down handle key press. And then handle key press is basically going to take the first thing in this way, which is key press control last. How do I get the last? Key press control dot length -1, and this is the handler. And then we want handler event. I think that's going to work. All right, so you add a key press control, you remove a key press control. And we can basically add a no-op, or we can make it so that whenever you press space or click, it goes through. So now what I need to do is where is the thing that handles clicks on the dialog? We render this Move to next. Aha, add event listener right there. Okay. So that makes it so you can click on it. That one's totally fine, but now what we want to do is we want to say something like dialog this dot input handler equals function event, and then we basically want to say to this, I don't know, that dot move text next, and then we want to say pop input, no, key press. Why is that not working? Add key press control. And this needs to be this dot input handler. And then down here I want to say the remove key press control. Remove key press control. This dot input handler. And then basically what I want to say is not always do this. I want to say if it equals space, if event dot, oops, didn't want to do that. If event, where's my buttons? Dot key equals, okay, JavaScript mouse event space Control F key shift key, no, where is the key? Constructor creates a new mouse event. Is there like a base mouse event? Oh, key press event. Duh. Key press. I don't want key code. I want key, and I think space is what matters. Okay. Remove this. If key equals space, we're just gonna console.log event, and we're gonna check it. Okay. I am not entirely sure this is going to work. We got a board. Let's see what happens. I am going to now press space. That didn't work at all. add key press control this dot input handler. Okay, so now what I want to do is say key press control. There are two of them. The first one, oh, is handle player move. Alright, that's interesting. So let's just say A equals one of these. A dot push 3. A dot push 54. A. It does push it to the end. Why is it that when I pushed a handler, it somehow ended up at the beginning? That is not entirely clear to me. Okay, before we get like way into this, let's take a little stretch break. Get your head clear, drink some water. Think about something else, like Game of Thrones, and who's gonna die this week. There's definitely like 4 or 5 characters that are just gone. But I'm trying to figure out, I know they're gonna drop a bomb and like somebody is gonna die that like no one expects to have die. I just can't figure out who it's gonna be. I really feel like it could. I feel like John is the easy way out, and I feel like Jamie is the second most obvious. So I don't think either of them are going to happen. I don't know. I just really don't know. I feel like one thing that could happen is all the dragons die, and then Daenerys is like, all my power's gone because I don't have any dragons anymore. I don't know. It's hard to say. But we'll find out on Sunday. Okay. It's also possible. Oh, you know what? I added it right here at the beginning. That's why. What I want to do is when it renders it, that is when I want to call this. Taking a break, it's like the best thing ever. Seriously. Also, I don't want this here. Anytime I unrender it, I want to get rid of the control. Both of these things. Okay. Now I should have a handler when I press space. It's not. It still wants to move. When am I actually adding... I am rendering the grid, the leaderboard. Where am I actually setting the key press? Key press. Key down. Start game. Where am I calling start game? Okay, start game. Button. Okay. So I'm saying run game. I'm rendering the grid. I don't want to do this until start game. Okay. So when start game is called, then I also don't want to call this repeatedly. I don't want to call this every time a game starts. Body.set attribute view game. I definitely want to set the counter body.add event listener key down. So right now I'm sort of rendering the game in the background, and then I'm rendering the leaderboard on top of it. And maybe that's something that we fix later. I definitely want to do this, and I want to render the intro dialogue when I start the game. I think I want to handle all this key press stuff. When I set up the board. Okay. Alright, if I press space, hey, alright. It's a capital S, and it's code. It's not key. The key is actually space. So let's go fix that. There we go. Now, it ought to be that. Alright, see? Alright, now I'm walking through it. I can still click. It goes away. And now I'm in player move. Okay, great. Alright, so back on the to-do list. Conversation pauses player control. Perfect. Prevent you from reaching a cell with a locked door. Okay. Let's get that done. And then I think after we get that done, well, this is going to be a little more interesting. And then after that, I think we will... First off, let's go ahead and change this. Mess with CSS. Read cards. Talk about graduation. So after we do this, I think what I want to do is make it so that, you know, we sort of plan out what we're going to do for the rest of the time here. We've only got 5 more days to work on this and about 2 hours a day. So we should probably have a pretty good plan to be ready to wrap it up if we're going to get it done in time. And I feel like the way that we'll go about that, well, we'll worry about that. So first, let's just do this. Let's make a sound when you try to interact with a locked door. We have a good way to make sounds, and we have a good way to trigger sounds. What we don't have is... Oh, we do have a way to tell whether or not the door is locked. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's get rid of these console logs. Don't need this. Don't need this. And we don't need this. Okay. We should probably add some text. Click or press space to continue. Does that work? Click or press space to continue. There we go. Alright. Alright, we have a way to make sounds, so let's make a closing door sound real fast. Not really sure how to do that. What do I have around here? Nope, that's too loud. I need like a piece of wood. That sounds like a knocking. Um, I guess I could try to slam on my door. I don't know. Let's just get an idea of what it sounds like. I'm gonna go slam the door over here real fast to get an idea about what it sounds like, and then I'm gonna try to recreate it with my mouth. All right, maybe we can get the microphone close enough to the door to be able to record that, because that sounds perfect. Let's go ahead and bring up the sound recorder. Okay, this was the one we were using. Can y'all let me know if you can hear this door? I guess we can just test it out. Here we go. Record. Let's see if that worked. Recording. Oh, that's good enough. I'll take that. It's kind of like hollow, but you know what? It's a placeholder, so I'm not really going to worry about it. Let's get it trimmed up and get it in there. Let's get it trimmed up and get it in there. Save as door. Now where was I putting these? Pull this over here. We needed a sound clipper. Clipping. No, I want online sound trimming. Trimmer. I think that's it. These are all MP3. Maybe it's this one. Is this what I wanted? Upload. Aha. What do you mean there's no custom files, all files? Please tell me you can do this. Only supported MP3 and WAV. Lame. Online M4A trimmer. Whatever, let's try this one. Oh yeah, this is the one. Okay, this is the one that I did. Door. Sounded like it started about there. Yeah, let's do that. Download. Show in folder. Door. Locked. Okay. Now let's move it to the right place. Code. JS13K offline. Sound. Win. Door locked. Alright, so now we need door locked. Let's go ahead and close this and delete both of these because we don't need them anymore. We have them in the right place. And then let's go to the sound thing. Alright, we had sound effects How did we add sound effects? It was like load audio or something. Cells. Something. Audio. Is there a sound? Audio. Oh, there it is. Load audio. Whoops. Load audio. Door locked. And then we have door locked, and now all we need to do is play sound effects. Control F. Play SFX. And now we need to make it so that we have run into the door. Make item. Now, in here, what we want to do is we basically want to say, is there a door here? Pick up items. Check win. It's going to be in check win. All right. Doors. If there is not a door. All right. Else. Play SFX. Door locked. I think that's going to be all we need. Get through here. Hey, all right. And now we have a door lock sound. Okay. There we go. Make a sound when you interact with a locked door. Prevent you from reaching a cell with a locked door. Prevent you, so you should not be able to enter it. So now we need this interaction thing where you try to enter a cell that has an object that is blocking, and then you have to interact with that object before you can. So for instance, if you wanted to get in here, you'd need to have a key. So you'd pick up the key, then you would go to the door, and the first time you try to do it, it would unlock it. And then the second time you move up there, it would open the door and you'd get out. Oops. So let's do that. How are we going to make it so that you interact with a door? Or any object, really? Blocking. We need any blocking object. And then we set it to unblocking. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have it be game when we create the things. And we get to specify these extra properties. Locked equals true. We're not actually setting locked or unlocked, are we? Locked. I think blocking is better because we can specify anything to be blocking. Yeah, we can specify anything to be blocking. Or maybe, yeah, this is the part where I've never done this before, and I'm making it up as I go. We can look for all of the blocking items, and before you can go into a cell, you have to unblock all of the items. I like that idea. Okay, so now in order to go to a cell that is blocked, right now you have to have entered it. We find out that there is a door there, and then we tell you you can't go there. Instead, we want to prevent you from getting in there, And when we prevent you from going to a door, we then want to play this locked sound. So let's get the things that make you blocked. How can we go about that? It's in the handle key press. All right, get the new cell. Get the items, get blocking items. All right, var or let blocking items equal new cell dot items dot filter I dot blocking equals true. All right, that will get us the new items. And then what we want to do is iterate over each of those and attempt to interact with each of them. Okay. Blocking items. All right. Blocking items dot for each. Let's interact with them. How do we interact? Each of these items needs to have an interaction function. Maybe? I'm going to do this the easiest possible way. Instead of this like pick up items, do I want to prevent you from going to a door? Not really. Okay. Okay, no. No. This is not what I want to do. We can implement blocking by getting the new cell, checking the walls, and in the case that you run into a wall, we then interact with that thing. Okay. So if the new cell equals the old cell, we're not going to do anything. Otherwise, we want to say, so we have now checked if we can leave. Check if can leave. And now we want to do check if can enter. All right. So now we can set walls just on the item. Make sure that we can get into the item or not get into the item. And then we can say instead you interact with that item. Or you interact with whatever's in, yeah, you interact with it instead. Okay. If, all right, so now we need the new cell, and we want to check the walls. All right. Wall of importance. Let's go like this. All right, if can enter. So basically we want this whole thing again. Only now we want new cell. And then each of these is more like let's change this. Let's do like a little constant enter check equals, we're going to have A, and this is going to be, we're moving up, so we want to check the bottom. And then we're going to have, nope, W is up, A is left, so we want to check the right. S is down, so we want to check the top. And D is right, so we want to check the left. And then what we can do is we can say if new cell dot walls dot index of enter check of event dot key what this says is we have found greater than 0, no, greater equals negative 1. Okay, nothing blocking us. So move character. Else we're blocked, so interact with cell instead. All right. So in this case, all right, we are doing something. So we're going to increment the move counter. Then we're going to move the player. Okay, and this check win really needs to be part of the cell. Or really, all right, we're blocked, so we want to interact. Okay. what do we want to do here? I want to take a drink of water. So, picking up items. What does rendering the player actually do? It unrenders its current location. It gets the cell index of where it should be, and then it places it in that cell. Places the element in that cell. Okay, that's fine. So that at that point, we're good. Okay, so just to verify that this is all still working. All right, everything here is still working. I want to make it so that you can now interact with it. Let's put an object like a desk somewhere in here. And then the key is in the desk. And then you go and open the door. All right, that all sounds like a plan for tomorrow. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here. I think we're gonna start the whole idea of interaction. I think I need to sleep on. Just not entirely sure how to do it. I feel like this win checking, like check win condition, probably happens all the time. Not just when you move, but it has consequences because now when I, for instance, go here and it's locked. No, actually at all. So right now you have to actually move to get into this situation. I want to check the win after each turn, and a turn is basically a player move. So this feels correct to me. I'm not entirely sure I want to pass in the cell. I think check win should just check the state of the game, determine whether you have won or not, and then do the sound if you have won. I don't think that check win should be responsible for playing the door locked sound. I think entering a cell and then trying to interact with the items should trigger the sounds. So like this pick up items, it's the act of picking up an item that should trigger the sound. So if I were to open a desk, it would make the desk sound, and then it might pop up with a couple of, like a little pop-up shows you what's in the desk, and then as you pick the items up, it would then make the sound for each of the items because you have now interacted with that item. And I feel like that's a better way to go about it. Like when you enter a cell with a door, you then interact with the items that are there. It unlocks the door. It makes a sound or something like that, and then makes the wind sound. Something along those lines. That, or you walk up to a door. There's no lines leading to the door, and then as you hit the door, as you like run into the door, then it makes the sound to unlock it, and then moving into it actually determines whether... No, I still like... Yeah, like I said, it's still sort of up in the air for me. Let's go ahead and plan out what we're going to do here for the rest of this. So I feel like we made pretty good progress overall, and let's sort of set aside a plan which is going to be in the Where is my other one? Is it a README? No. It was all oh, idea. All right, so plan here. Let's plan this out a little bit. We have 5 days left. 5 days left. What do we want to do? First thing we want to do is interactions with items. And to be a little more specific about this, implement blocking items. And I feel like that's going to take a whole day sort of understanding that and getting that right. So I'm going to leave that as 1 day. And then I'm going to say the next thing that we want to do is change the way the world is constructed. Constructed. What I want to do here is specify the world as an array of values, not default to just being a grid of a set size. Basically, the idea here is right now in our game to construct the world, we have this function that's like, oh, let's make a grid that's 8 by 8, then let's manually add in all of these things. What I want to do is sort of move this out into like a configuration file so that we can have more than one level. And we can just generate it from the configuration file. So anytime we want to make a world, the only thing we have to do is create a new configuration file, make a new level, or we could randomize it and we could just build one, out of the blue. So that I think is what we'll do for the day after that. Then with the third to last day, I'm going to put a hard stop and say force us to get less than 13 kilobytes. So far we've been ignoring that, especially around the audio. I guess let's just take a look real fast and see where we're at. New terminal. What is this? Build? No, actually, maybe we're doing pretty good. Oh, you know what it's not doing? It's not including the audio files. But so far, like, just the text of everything is taking up about 5K. Maybe we'll start looking at shrinking down that CSS a bit. Maybe we'll take a look at getting some better graphics in here. Oh no, there was one more big thing that I wanted to do. So implement the items. All right, we're going to push that off a day. We're going to say this is implement the flashlight. The world should be dark. Flashlight makes it so you can see. Respect walls, etc. So that's gonna be a fun one. Once you pick up the flashlight, there will be like some light around you, and maybe we'll even put in some windows so that there's like a little bit of light around windows. Implement the flashlight and windows. You got to have a window first because you can't find the flashlight if there's no light at all. And the whole beginning story is this phone is ringing. You like roll out of bed. You're at the office, sleeping on a couch. You pick up the phone. You get this conversation, and then you gotta find the flashlight because the power's out, and we gotta go get these servers back online so we stop losing money. That is getting the lighting right. I think is like gonna be a large part of the challenge of this game. Because that is like finding the things that you need is going to be hard, and then getting that done. All right, the last thing, so force us to get less than 13 kilobytes. That's probably going to take a whole day. We have a day left. I would say last day should be building out the primary scenario. And this will be like building out the world and getting the leaderboard. Getting leaderboard finished. And I guess really that's kind of it. That's going to be 12 days that we have spent on this, and that's going to be the whole project. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody hanging out today. Like I said, I feel like we made quite a bit of progress. There's still like some quirky stuff. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm much more worried about getting the gameplay done and getting it to like a sort of fleshed out idea, more so than having like every little detail taken care of along the way. We can go back and we can clean all of that up later. But as far as like whether or not we complete this thing to a degree that we would be willing to turn it in the amount of time that we have, I feel like we're on the right path as long as we stick to this. So yeah, thanks again. Let's see here. Stocky, thank you for the follow today. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad we were able to help you out with your issue. Uh, Please feel free to keep coming back. I stream from Wednesday to Friday from noon till about 2 each day. And we're just going to keep working on this for the rest of this week. Next week's going to be an early week because I'm going to be out of town on Thursday and Friday. So I might stream on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or I might do the weekend. Uh, but yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for joining, everybody.